Filipino American parents. Throughout Kathleen's life, she has given a great deal of thought to the minority experience, both within the Filipino American community and with the general public, inspiring her to speak out against the issues of microaggression and diversity in America today. Let's hear it for Kathleen.
Have you ever been told, "Are you Chinese? Do you speak English? Or why do you act so white?" Have you ever been told, "Oh, you're very well spoken for a black girl," or "You're Mexican? You must be a very good swimmer," or "You're one of the good ones"? Have you ever said any of these things? If you have, you may want to listen to what I'm about to tell you. The statements I just listed for you are examples of what I call microaggressions. So what are microaggressions exactly? I define them as statements emphasizing stereotypes about your demographic group in an insulting or negative way, whether it's intentional or unintentional. They're the not so little things that we say to each other that make us feel unfit, inferior, inadequate, different, or so many more terrible things simply because there are labels used against us. Now, some may see speaking out against microaggressions as just a form of complaining, but please just hear me out for the next few minutes. I strongly doubt that there is anyone in this room that hasn't experienced similar acts of disrespect. Because every demographic group, whether it's based on ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic class, has felt slighted by these not so little things that we say to each other. And most people aren't innocent either. All of us in this room have either said things or have had things that's said to us that are ignorant because people aren't perfect. Sometimes we don't think about what we say. Sometimes we don't even know that what we're saying isn't okay because, let's be honest, we can't know what we don't know. Ignorance on certain topics is natural and inevitable. If you're one demographic group, it might be really hard to understand what another demographic group is going through. And hopefully, when we say things between these demographic groups, we don't mean to hurt anybody. But does that still matter? Does someone still hurt? It doesn't. Intent and impact are two separate things, and when dealing with other people, impact is the one that matters most. We need to engage in self-reflection and realize that we have hurt people because we're human beings who make mistakes. However, that's not an excuse. Mistakes are made so that they can be learned from and fixed. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We can't expect people to stop being offended by ignorant comments if we continue to make ignorant comments. So if everyone is responsible, how can we fix it? Well, the first step is to think about what you say before you say it. For example, a man was asked a friend of mine, "Are you Mexican or Puerto Rican?" The irony is that my friend is from Belize. Now, that man didn't think before he spoke, but you can, and you should. It's as simple as asking yourself, is what I'm saying a stereotype? Is it judgmental? How will this affect the other person? And think, if someone said this to me and I was in that person's shoes, how would it make me feel? Now, I realize that first step is hard to get to because when fighting for social justice, we see each other as different sides of a war. There are those who want to fight for progress, and there are those who think it's not necessary. Each side wants theirs to win, and there's no compromise. Neither side listens to each other. Fighters for progress become frustrated when others don't listen, and others close their ears and don't want to listen because they don't think it's necessary. We aren't able to have a cooperative and friendly conversation that would achieve true equality. It keeps us from working together when in reality we're all on the same team. We in America live in a society that prides itself on its diversity. Have you heard of the melting pot? America is a melting pot of so many different ethnicities, religions, interests, backgrounds, and so on. That diversity is something to be respected and celebrated, not something that divides us. No. It's something to be celebrated and respected, but it's not something that should divide us. Now, when we... Now, I know it's hard because in America, we see America as becoming a victim of culture or simply going through a complaint movement, but that perception is just untrue, and we all need to realize that. It's a fight that's important for all of us because America is founded on diversity, and we need to stay true to that foundation. Think about the history of America. Today, we've gone through so many movements towards achieving equality. We've abolished slavery, we've abolished Jim Crow laws, we've made more fair immigration laws, and we've fought for civil rights. However, there's still so much in our society today that is so unequal and unfair. If anything, the fact that microaggressions still exist is proof of that fact. We need to engage in self-reflection and realize that because these exist, and as long as these issues exist for marginalized groups, the fight isn't done yet. So it's not the complaining movement. It's the equality and respect movement, and you should be a part of it. Now, it's quite possible that some people in this room think that the job is done, but I want to ask them, haven't you felt this way before? Like you were unwelcome, or weren't good enough, or like you didn't belong? We all have, trust me. But I also want to ask all of you, don't you think you've done it to someone before? Now, of course, I've had microaggressions used against me in my life. I've often been asked, are you Chinese? Which I'm not, by the way. And I've also been asked, where are you from? Fair question, right? I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. And then I've had a follow-up question. Where are you really from? In case you didn't catch that before, I'm still from Columbia, South Carolina. However, my parents are from the Philippines. So, while these microaggressions have affected my life, that's not the point here. The point is that what made me realize the true immorality of microaggressions is when I was not on the receiving end. Because while I've been the victim before, I've also been the microaggressor. It's a truth I'm not proud of, but it's a truth that I and everyone must accept in order to improve our lives, the lives of the people we care about, and even the lives of people we don't know. Because that's the point of this fight. It's so we don't hurt people, whether we know them or not. We need to realize that we have hurt people and react to that realization by making a change within ourselves to make sure it never happens again. So as an example of when I was a microaggressor, I once told a friend of mine that she talked like a white girl. Now, at the time, it seemed like a joke because I've heard so many people say it before, but now I realize that it was a mistake, and I realize how cruel and ignorant that comment was. Why is it that speaking eloquently or any other proper way is only synonymous with being white? Or why is it that even though I speak with an American accent, I've never been told that I speak white? It's because it's a specific microaggression targeted towards Black Americans based on the assumption that they don't speak properly. Or who are we to judge what accent means speaking properly? Because if someone spoken the same without different accent than you, would you automatically assume that they're unintelligent? I would hope not, because America, once again, is a land that prides itself on its diversity. That diversity is something to be celebrated and respected, not something that makes us feel bad about ourselves. Our voices are just as diverse as who we are, and our voices should never be silenced. That's the true complexity behind every microaggression that you or I or anyone else says. So it's not complaining, and we need to fight against these labels. Everyone in this room needs to learn to step outside of the labels that we've placed on ourselves, on each other, because everyone in this room is so much more than that. We're a diverse group of individuals with equally diverse backgrounds that should be respected, not used to define us in negative stereotypes. After all, I think you deserve respect, and I hope you think I deserve respect. Doesn't everyone deserve fundamental respect? The motivational speaker Ty Howard said, "Diversity and civility go hand in hand. The former is the acceptance of others and their differences, and the latter is the restraint of self to show respect, politeness, decorum, and kindness. Civility should never be an afterthought. It should be your first thought and choice of action." My challenge to you is next time you're about to participate in microaggression by saying, "Are you Chinese?" or "Do you speak English?" or one of the good ones, or anything similar, don't be the microaggressor. And think about what you say before you say it. At the end of the day, we all want to be respected as human beings. Thank you.